haven't seen it yet. But the clock stopped. Now Lawrence 3. It's good.
It's good. Or is it good? A wild finish for the women down at Charlotte. Let's play 2 overtimes.
And I am OwlSports Updates Patty Navarro live at Pearson McGonagall's Hall with Temple's nationally ranked fencing team. And I'll update you on how they're doing against some of the top teams in the country. OwlSports Update is live and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome back to OwlSports Update. It's a new semester, which means there's a new anchor duo on desk.
This is Meg Doyle and I am Michael Mirville. We are jam-packed on the latest on Temple fencing, a standout in gymnastics, and of course, 2 basketball teams needed overtime over the weekend. We'll start with the guys. The Owls are trying to snap a 6-game slide, but the Big Easy is never easy. In the first half, Temple takes an early lead, but the Green Waves with the slam. Now, Hasil Miller finds Jalil White in the middle, who spins in for the layup. But Tulane still leading most of the way. Right at the rim, the Green Wave is up by 5 at the half. Now only down by 3, a step-back shot is off, but is followed up with the and one by White. The Owls are now up by 2 when Tulane now with the give and go and Tulane with the one-handed slam. It was one of those back and forth games, but Tulane with an easy look on the paint. Then to the outside, Steve Settle in the corner is found for the 4-point play. The final seconds in regulation. Miller rises up to the occasion and hits his only 3 of the game. And it's a big one, but we are headed into overtime. In overtime, the Owls were not so lucky and they completely run out of steam. They lose to Tulane 92-80.
The Owls are home this week for 2 games. First, a Thursday night whiteout game against Memphis at 7. Then on Sunday, Temple takes on Charlotte in a pre-Super Bowl matinee at 2. Coming into this brief homestand, the Owls are up against a 7-game losing streak and have a record of 8-14 with a 1-8 record in conference play.
Temple's last win was more than 1 month ago. To talk about this major slide, we bring in Courts and Sections anchor Hayden Bandel. Thanks for joining us, Hayden.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
So Temple's up against a 7-game losing streak. They've definitely been competitive at times, but do you agree this Thursday night game against Memphis is a mismatch?
I think Temple is going to have a lot of struggles on Thursday night against Memphis. This is a team that kind of reminds me of the Temple team from last year. A lot of great talent, just unable to gel it all together. They have guys like Jordan Brown, a former 6th Man of the Year in the Pac-12. He was also 1st and 2nd team All-Conference the last 2 seasons in the Sun Belt. Then they have Javon Quinterly. He was the SEC Coast 6th Man of the Year last season. And I didn't even mention David Jones yet. 210, big guy on campus. He's the leading scorer in the American. Temple's going to have a lot of troubles down low.
Well, this Thursday is a whiteout game, and Temple has struggled with attendance, for years now. This season, they're averaging about 3,200 fans per game, but the whiteout games have always been an exciting exception. Do you think we'll see a great crowd?
I think we're going to see a better crowd than we have seen over the course of the season. Although I don't think it's going to be like last year's whiteout, where Temple beat #1 Houston on the road. Then the Cougars came to the Liacouras Center and it was sold out. I don't think we're going to get that last year, but I think we'll see a better crowd than we have the previous years.
I'll be anxiously awaiting to see what the turnout is like. But Memphis just snapped their own 4-game losing streak. Who on the Tigers do you think the Owls need to watch out for?
I'm going to go on a high limb here. I'm going to say the former Owl, Nick Jourdain. He's making his return to the Liacouras Center. There's only one Owl on the current roster that has played more games than Jourdain. I think he might go out, and I'm going to go and say he's going to have 20 points tonight, which would be a season high for him.
Well, Hayden, that's all we have. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again on Tuesday for Courts in Session.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
The Owls traveled down to Charlotte to take on the 49ers in a weekend marathon. Temple was off to a hot start in the first quarter, forcing 9 turnovers and picking up a 7-point lead. Temple kept it up in the second quarter, shooting 57% from the field, finishing the first half up by 12. Here's the leading scorer of the game, Terry Onagary, with a steal and layup to end the third. Now with 4 minutes left, Charlotte manages to close in on the Owls' lead. However, a foul on the Owls means 2 free throws for the 49ers to tie the game and head into overtime. It was a back and forth battle between the Owls and the 49ers until the last 3 seconds of the first overtime. Charlotte hits a 3 for the win, but wait, there was a clock malfunction, so the shot was ruled no good and they head into a second overtime. 2 is better than 1, right? Actually, not really for the Owls in this case. Charlotte scores 8 unanswered points to put this one away. The 49ers ultimately take the win 88-81. The difference here was the foul shots.
And I like the team defense and how we're helping each other. You know, the fouls, we've got to, obviously we got to stop that. Maybe we weren't showing our hands on defense. We try to defend with moving our feet and showing our hands. But, I got to look at the film. There's a lot of things I'd love to clip and see what the interpretation was from the referees. We got to get better. I mean, if they're calling those fouls, we got to see why they're calling them, and then we got to fix it.
Now looking ahead, the women host the South Florida Bulls this weekend after that tough loss against Charlotte. It's the first game between the two since January of last year, where the Owls were on the receiving end of a devastating 22-point blowout. The game will be broadcast live on ESPN Plus this Saturday at 3.
We've talked a whole lot of basketball to kick off the show, but of course we didn't forget about National Signing Day for the football team.
Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at who will be joining the Owls for the 2024-25 season. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. The football team had quite the eventful day on Wednesday, signing 19 new players to join the team. 6 players are moving up north from Georgia, while there are 12 transfers and 7 freshmen coming out of high school. With E.J. Warner gone, the Owls have also recruited 2 quarterbacks. Let's take a listen to head coach Stan Drayton explaining what he was looking for in the new recruits.
Well, so it's a matter of getting to the best 85 potential players that were out there for us, and we needed depth in certain spots, and we needed to get older in certain spots, and we needed to create competition in all of them, in all the spots, and that was our mindset going.
Women's fencing is making its mark this season with an impressive 5-match win streak, including a key win against number 13th ranked Ohio State. OwlSports Update's Patty Navarro is live at Pearson McGonigal Hall. Hey, Patty.
Thanks, guys. Looking at Temple's fencing, this team isn't worried about facing the best. The Owls have already faced off against 12 nationally ranked teams this season, and the schedule includes some victories against powerhouse squads.
It's not every day any Temple team gets to compete against the top teams in the country, let alone beat them, but the fencing team is generally the exception. Just last month, the Owls beat 3rd-ranked Columbia at the Philadelphia Invitational.
Going into it, we knew we had the advantage emotionally, potentially, if we believed in ourselves.
The Owls have already faced 7 top 10 teams this season. Sophomore Renee Iman is one of the team's standouts, as she spearheaded the Foilists with 7 of the team's 26 victories on day 2 of the Philadelphia Invitational.
Coming into practice, giving 100%, having 100% motivation every day, having a very competitive mindset when going on the strip.
Freshman Grace Smith isn't far behind. She led the team with 8 wins at the same meet.
no matter if I won or lost the previous bouts, it was just looking at what I had to do next. So it doesn't matter what's happening, it doesn't matter where my team is, it's what I can do for my team. Getting on the strip and knowing that I can only focus on one touch at a time.
And these ranked wins continued just this past weekend when the Owls went to Illinois for the Northwestern Duels. The Owls won 8 out of 11 matches, and that included 2 wins over nationally ranked Notre Dame and Ohio State.
We're looking to have victory after victory after victory. That's our goal, and if we perform, that's where we should land.
The Owls are in North Carolina for 2 different meets again this upcoming weekend.
This weekend's trip actually has 2 stops for the Owls, Saturday in North Carolina, Sunday at Duke. That's all from Pearson McGonigal Hall. I'm Patty Navarro reporting for Owl Sports Update. Megan, Michael, back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Patty. To another top women's team. Brooke Donabedian has dominated the floor for Temple Gymnastics ever since she was a freshman. These performances have earned her her fair share of success and record-breaking performances on North Broad. Brooke Donabedian's journey into the record book started off like most gymnasts, with a desire for an outlet.
My story is kind of similar to a lot of other gymnasts when they first got started. They just needed a place to exert all of their energy.
The 2-time Junior Olympic national qualifier instantly found success in North Broad. In her first year, she earned scores of 9.8 or better in both the beam and the floor in 7 of 12 meets.
She's a competitor. That's the number one thing that comes to my mind is she is going to fight. When you put her in that lineup, she's going to fight to do her absolute best.
Donabedian is a spectacle on the floor, leading the Owls in scoring with her dazzling routines and captivating visuals.
And her gymnastics is beautiful, so it's so pretty to watch. Everybody who sees her remembers her.
Coming up from an energetic upbringing, Donabedian was drawn to the sport of gymnastics ever since she was a child.
When I was first put in, I just immediately loved it and just continued doing that for the rest of my life.
Donabedian edged her name on the record books last March, tying the school record on the floor with a score of 9.95. This led to her being named to the all-conference first team.
Perfectly done. She will forever have a huge impact on Temple Gymnastics, not just by her scoring, but like I said, just being a fierce competitor and a beautiful, stunning gymnast.
Donabedian will continue to build her legacy along with the rest of the Owls on Friday in the Penn meet against the University of Pennsylvania Quakers. The Owls took second place in a 4-team meet over the weekend at Auburn, losing only to the host school. The Owls had 14 scores of 9.7 or better. This included a pair of 9.8s from senior Renee Shugman and freshman Amelia Budd. This leaves Temple 5-7 on the season, heading into UPenn on Friday.
Thanks, Michael. We are now up against our last break of the day. When we return, we'll be hearing about one Temple athlete's long journey to North Broad. Stick around from halfway around the world. Welcome back. It's no secret that Temple attracts many international athletes, but for one athlete, home is a little further than most. OwlSports Update's Jay Matthews has the story.
Most of Temple's 19 varsity sports have at least one international student athlete, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who traveled much farther than Emma Kate Watt.
In terms of the team and everything, it was really good. Everyone was really supportive, and I'm not the only Australian here, so it was good to have other people.
Watt is a freshman, but her journey started long before landing in Philadelphia. Watt attended St. Aidan Anglican Girls' School in Brisbane, more than 9,500 miles away.
Adjusting to being here, I guess it's very different from home. Adjusting to the culture and stuff, and obviously the food's kind of different as well.
As for her teammate Elsa Chain, she had a different path to Temple. She's a sophomore and originally attended Jacksonville State University before transferring to Temple University to be with her country mate. Chain and Watt are here thanks to one Temple coach in particular. Distance coach Charlotte Emer has been at Temple for 8 years and just happens to be from Australia.
NCAA was just a great opportunity, and the transition has been kind of a long one now, I guess you could say. but it has been a really great experience, and I really enjoy working in college athletics.
I think the most important thing is it's taught me to resilience, I guess, to always never really give up. And also I think it's definitely taught me some discipline. I always, know to put 100% into what I do.
Reporting from Temple Sports Complex, I'm Jay Matthews II, reporting for OwlSports Update.
The team had a productive weekend at the Scarlet Knight Open. Amir Green won the high jump event for the Owls after clearing 1.7 meters. Obi Maki Iguanagu won the college division after leaping 5.6 meters. Fiona Carter competed into the pentathlon, placing top 3 in 3 events, along with tallying the top score in the high jump at 1.48 meters. On top of that, 4 athletes recorded PRs.
Students gathered at the Student Center for the 12th Annual Sports Media Summit last Friday. The event featured ESPN anchor Nicole Briscoe. There was an NFL panel featuring 3 former OwlSports Update anchors, Carly Massietti, Alexa Ross, and Lindsay Moppert. The day also featured Billy King, a former NBA GM with the Sixers and Nets. This is all a part of Klein College's Claire Smith Center for Sports Media. That's all we have for today.
For our entire crew, he's Michael Mirville, I'm Meg Doyle. Thank you for tuning in and have a great weekend.